Welcome to Fantasy Baseball Cafe's Hot and Cold Report. I am Jason Gilbo, and I am taking a look at some players you should ship out while they're hot, and as well as some great buy low targets. Kind of some hot off the press news here. Fernando Rodney blew another save last night, which he is now equal to his 2014 total. And Carson Smith is really nipping at his heels, but Lloyd McClendon is not ready to give him the closer role just yet. But Carson Smith only 18% owned in Yahoo and 12% in ESPN. So as soon as he gets the nod, which could be here shortly, I can't see them sticking with Rodney much longer. Carson Smith is going to be the guy. And if you want to compare their numbers for this season, Fernando Rodney, 6.85 ERA, and he's got a 4.95 FIP. Like I said, he's already blown 3 saves. And Carson Smith, 1.17 ERA and then 2.15 FIP. So Smith will get the job done here shortly. I don't see Rodney sticking around for much longer, especially with Seattle being where they are at in the standings. They can't really afford to take these losses. Another guy you need to go out and grab, who has been red hot in his first 2 starts in the bigs, Eduardo Rodriguez for the Boston Red Sox. The young lefty is available in half the leagues, ESPN and Yahoo, and he is coming off another great start today against Minnesota. And Minnesota's a team that ranks in the top 10 in offense against left-handed pitching, so it was not a cupcake matchup for Rodriguez whatsoever. Between his 2 starts, the first start in Texas, he worked into the 8th inning, worked scoreless innings and struck out 7, picked up the win. And then today in his Fenway debut, just allowed a solo shot to Brian Dozier, who, I mean, the guy crushes lefties. You figured he would make at least one mistake, but still, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts is exactly what the Red Sox need. And outside of Clay Buchholz, I mean, this is the guy you're going to want to take from this rotation, who's been pretty bad this season. John Farrell's been talking about a 6-man rotation out of Boston. I don't like it, and I don't believe Joe Kelly will stick in much longer. So it's not like he's going to lose a start, but you'll probably only see 1 or 2 more starts out of Joe Kelly, and then he'll be off. So Eduardo Rodriguez is the guy you want to pick up. Another pitcher that I'm looking at is Jesse Chavez for Oakland. Drew Pomeranz is back, but he's going to head to the bullpen, and Jesse Chavez is going to stick around. He's available in 50% of leagues in Yahoo, and then he's available in 60% on ESPN. 2.11 ERA, 1.04 WHIP. May 5th was the last time he didn't pitch at least 5 innings. He's got a 20% strikeout rate, 2.64 FIP. He just threw 16 scoreless innings against the Yankees and the Tigers. He was at home because I don't really like his ground or his fly ball rate. It's a little scary, but of course, pitching in Oakland's going to hold the home runs and hold runs. So I really like Jesse Chavez. He's been really hot. Definitely go grab him off the waiver wire. Before last night, Jeff Samardzija was really pitching well. But he got lit up for 9 earned. But I mean, before that, he had 23 innings prior to last night's blowup. He allowed just 5 earned over those 3 starts, and then he struck out 6 apiece, or he averaged out 6 over the 3 starts. So you may not be. I want to ship him off. I'm not a big believer in him. He's got a 4.6 ERA, 3.82 FIP, just an 18.3% strikeout rate. 25% line drive rate off of him, 38% ground ball rate. So those are not great numbers for continued success. Of course, he's going to have his streaks of where he pitches, above average. So once he does that, I'm really looking to ship him off and try and get someone who's a little stabler and who's got a little higher strikeout rate. Maybe a guy who pitches in a better park, because even though he has pitched well at US Cellular this season, he's not a guy that I'm confident in him holding success there. So, I mean, there's even talks of him shipping out of Chicago anyway. So, definitely a guy I want to get out of here soon. Another guy who's pitched really well, but I want a little more oomph from the hype that he's bringing in is Michael Wacha. He's pitched really well. He's got a 2.27 ERA. He's got 7 wins, but just a 16% strikeout rate, which is a little disappointing. He's got 3.76 FIP. I mean, he pitched well against the Cardinals. He just made the one mistake to Yasmani Grandal. Yeah, like I said, 16% strikeout rate is not really impressive for a guy that you want to call an ace or a guy who you have at the top of your staff in fantasy and you're really hoping carries it for the rest of the season. I mean, yeah, he's going to give you quality starts and wins, but I just want a little more. I want a little more completeness out of my ace pitchers. So with that being said, I mean, keeper leagues, I'm going to hang on to him, but in redrafts, I'm possibly looking to get something for him. I mean, possibly a hitter, pitcher combo for him, because there is a lot of hype and a lot of guys want him, and just there's probably a lot of Cardinals fans who just want him because he's a Cardinal. But yeah, I'm looking to possibly get a little more strikeout percentage. Even if you got to up the ERA to a low 3, I like that. Another guy I'm looking to buy is Carlos Carrasco. He had a really tough stretch. He faced the Tigers, the Royals, the Blue Jays, and the Cardinals, pretty much all within 4 or 5 starts in a row. And so it's made his numbers look pretty replaceable, which he is not a replaceable pitcher at all. I mean, he's got 2.57 FIP, 28% strikeout rate, and that's both top 10 in the league among pitchers. He's a guy I really liked before coming into the season. The ERA is coming down. He threw a great start against the Royals last night. He had 8 strikeouts over 7 innings. I think he allowed 1 earned in the win. So he's a guy I want to grab. And, he's not going for... I saw Johnny Peralta for Carlos Carrasco. So he is a guy who people will ship out for not nothing, but something that's, a worth of Johnny Peralta, who's maybe just a backup shortstop or a guy you can replace easily. So with that being said, Johnny Peralta I'm going to talk about next. It's been a really hot last 30 days. I mean, he's been really good this season, and with Matt Adams going down, he's hitting 4th. 306 average, 6 homers, 30 ribbies, 25 runs. So he's got great numbers. But he is a guy, shortstop is not a position. It is nice to have those numbers there. But if people are going to take Peralta for a guy like Carlos Carrasco, I'm going to ship him off every time. Because, I mean, I'm looking at, like, Adini Hechavarria. He's hitting 301 with 2 homers, and he's even missed some time. He's got 25 runs and 21 ribbies. And the guy's hitting in the bottom of the order. So, I mean, if you even moved him up, I mean, you can't imagine what his numbers would be. But of course, that's probably not going to happen. So, I mean, but I'm just looking at guys like Starlin Castro, Xander Bogaerts, Zach Kozar, Marcus Semien. Those are all guys that you can fill in in those 10 to 12 man leagues. You're definitely going to be able to find some of those guys. Another guy I'm looking to go out and get is Gregory Polanco. Before the season, I mean, last year he was a hot commodity coming into the league. He's got some good power. He's got some good speed. He's already got 13 stolen bases this season, and the Pirates look like they're going to be patient with him. They're not going to immediately send him down like last season. So I mean, he's already hitting 316 over the last 2 weeks with 9 runs and 2 homers. The stolen bases are there, and they're going to be there at the end of the season. As long as he's sitting second with McCutchen heating up and Neil Walker gets going behind him, he's going to provide a ton of runs. So I'm definitely looking to acquire him in a deal, or even possibly if he's out there in your league to scoop him up, because he does have some upside in RBI as well as homers, but he's going to provide a ton of runs and stolen bases. That's going to wrap it up here for the Hot and Cold Report at Fantasy Baseball Cafe. Once again, I'm Jason Gilbo, and I will be back here next Wednesday and taking a look at who we should target next.